our family tree tonight.
Is there anything wrong for your mother-in-law to live with you?
There's everything wrong with it.
Then why do you bring your mother into your marriage? Do you expect me to abandon a woman who suffered just to raise me up because I am married?
Is that a personal view or is there a general law which says that a mother-in-law cannot live with her married son?
It is not a general law.
This is Family Jury.
The case at hand is between Mr. and Mrs. Ken.
Filed on the 20th March 2010.
Is the divorce under the agreement of the couple?
No, Your Lordship. Mrs. Ken is the complainant while Mr. Ken is the defendant.
The counsel, please.
I am Barrister Tunde, counsel to the complainant, Mrs. Kenneth Agu.
My name is Barrister KB, counsel to the defendant, Mr. Ken Agu.
Can I have the complainant on the book?
Mr. Ken, Mrs. Ken to the door, please.
You are Mrs. Ken.
Yes, Your Lordship.
How long have you been married?
We've been married for 8 years now.
How many kids do you have?
I have 3 kids and now I'm a month pregnant.
How old is your eldest child?
He's 7 years.
Did you think about the negative effects this divorce will have on your kids?
I've thought about it. Oh my God, I don't have a choice. I need my peace of mind.
Alright then, let's hear your reasons.
I've been married for the past 8 years now.
My first year of marriage, things were interesting.
But things got bad when my mother-in-law packed into our house in the second year.
Your mother-in-law lives with you?
Till this moment, my lord. My husband told me that she was going to stay with us for a while. I had to complain to him when she had spent up to 6 months. But all he did was to get angry and told me that there was nothing wrong with his mother living with us.
Counsel to the defendant. Any examination?
Yes, my lord.
My lord, don't you think it will be proper for you to give Mrs. Kenneth Agu more chance to air her view?
We'll get to that point. Counsel, please continue.
Mrs. Ken.
I could remember you telling this honorable court that you complained to your husband after his mother has lived with you for 6 months. But he told you that there was nothing wrong with his mother living with you.
Yes, I said so.
Can I ask you a question? Is there anything wrong for your mother-in-law to live with you?
There's everything wrong with it. I don't know about other mother-in-laws, but it's dangerous living with my own mother-in-law.
Is that a personal view or is there a general law which says that a mother-in-law cannot live with her married son?
It is not a general law or a personal decision. It's a natural thing. The Bible said a man shall leave his father and cling to his wife. The Bible didn't say a man shall leave his father and cling to his wife and mother-in-law.
So why should my own case be different?
And what do you expect your husband to do when his mother had an accommodation problem?
No, to the best of my knowledge, my mother-in-law doesn't have any accommodation problem.
Mrs. Ken, what you're trying to tell this honorable court is that the reason you're throwing away your marriage is because your husband has decided to accommodate his own mother.
I want to divorce my husband because my mother-in-law has decided to take over my marriage. I cannot be living like a stranger in my own home. She has humiliated me enough.
I told my husband to choose between me or his mother. And from the way he has been behaving of late, he has made his decision.
You mean you asked your husband to throw his mother out of the house and he refused?
I told him to rent an apartment for his mother. His mom has taken everything that makes marriage enjoyable for me.
Mrs. Ken, could you please elaborate on the point you just made?
Throughout my first year of marriage, my husband never laid a single finger on me. But 3 months after my mother-in-law moved into the house, my husband started beating me at the slightest provocation.
Please go on.
will poison him and take all his wealth. I don't have access to his car. I don't have access to my own kitchen. I can't even discuss with my own husband because his mom is always busy talking to him every minute of the day.
I understand how you feel. But I would advise you to compose yourself and make your points.
You don't understand. Because if you understand, you will grant me this divorce and stop all this questioning.
Look, Mrs. Kent, I can assure you you are not going to leave this country that you are. You either go with the divorce you want, which I don't think is wise, or better still, go home with your husband, which I think will be more beneficial to you.
I don't want to be with him anymore. I need my peace.
Cancel. Okay. Yes.
This is Family Jury.
Children are the leaders of tomorrow. Don't kill the future of our youths. Broken homes can cause broken future. Avoid divorce. Brought to you by
Family Jury.
My name is Mr. Kenneth Adam. My wife, Widow. I am the only child of my family. My father died when I was still a baby. But my mother trained me.
Mr. Kent, do you love your wife?
Yes, ma'am. I love her very much.
So why did she file for a divorce?
Because she's not comfortable with my mother staying in the house.
And there is nothing you can do about it?
Of course, there's nothing I can do about it since my mother has not decided to leave. I can't just push her away.
Cancel.
Mr. Ken, to the best of my knowledge, marriage is about two people. And anything other than that is polygamy. Do you believe that?
Yes, I do.
Then why do you bring your mother into your marriage?
Do you expect me to abandon a woman who suffered just to raise me up because I am married? Listen, I love my wife so much, but I can't sacrifice my mother's comfort for her.
Then you sacrifice your marriage for your mother. There are things your wife told me that she cannot tell this honorable court because of her emotion. You deny her access to the cars, you even beat her at every slight mistake. And you never eat her food. Yet you claim you love her. Mr. Ken, where is your love?
Both my mother and my wife are close to me, so any of them can cook my meal.
What happened to your children's former school?
I had to change them into a new school.
Because your mother advised you to do so?
My wife always attributes my decision to my mother's advice.
Why did you marry Goodluck when you know that you're not ready to let go of your mother's company? You give your mother all the attention meant for a wife. Mr. Ken, I put it to you that if it were possible for your mother to give you babies, you wouldn't have married Goodluck.
Mother-in-law and daughter. Why can't mothers-in-law and daughters-in-law live in peace? Let me use this opportunity to remind this honorable court that divorce is not advisable for anybody. It kills the future of the family. It kills the future of us, our children, and the society in general. Children are the most sensitive creatures on earth. And you have to be very careful what you do in front of your kids. When you batter your wife in front of your child, you are encouraging them to be violent to women. The same applies to whatever you do to your husband in your child's presence. The mind of the child is very to them. Whatever you sow in it germinates. Please, couples, I repeat once more, be careful of whatever you do in the presence of your children.
This is Family Jury.
I want to make it very clear to this honorable court the reasons why Mrs. Kenneth Agu should be granted a divorce. I have a wife, and I can understand the emotional trauma this woman has passed through since 7 years. And from the statement Mr. Kenneth Agu has made so far, it is very obvious that he is not willing to give up his mother and save his marriage. And yet he's contesting for the divorce. I mean, what's the essence of marriage? When a woman cannot discuss with her husband, cannot cook for her husband, doesn't have access to her husband's property anymore.
Excuse me, counsel. Mr. Kenneth Agu, is your mother in court?
No, Your Lordship.
She needs to be here. Counsel, please continue.
Thank you, Your Lordship. The most destructive weapon is sentiment. Because she's your mother, anything she says goes. You give your mother money for your family upkeep because she said your wife is extravagant. Your children were pulled out of school because your mother said that the bills are expensive. I'm afraid that one day your mother could ask you to give your wife poison and you will do it. I think this honorable court should grant Mrs. Kenneth Agu this divorce so that his mother can have ample opportunity to babysit her son.
My lord, while considering granting Mrs. Kenneth Agu a divorce, let us also reflect on the negative effect it's going to have on her children and her unborn child. My lord, there is no law in the book which states that a married man cannot live with his mother, especially if the man in question is the only son of the entire family. A man whose father died while he was a mere baby. Therefore, he was single-handedly raised by his mother. My lord, you can understand the chemistry. So I don't think there's anything wrong with Mr. Ken living with his mother. The problem with our Mrs. Ken here is the concept of my mother-in-law is not supposed to live permanently in my husband's house. Because she feels that the mother-in-law's presence is going to jeopardize her comfort. So she begins to attribute all her husband's decisions to the mother-in-law's advice, which is not supposed to be so.
Counsel, please round up your points.
Thank you, my lord. My dear Mrs. Ken, the earlier you drop this notion of mother-in-laws are not supposed to live permanently with their married son, the better for you. Have you thought about your future and that of your kids too? My dear, you do not need a divorce. What you need now is a reconciliation. A reconciliation between you, your husband, and your mother-in-law. Think about it.
Mr. and Mrs. Kenneth Agu, I want you to listen attentively. This is a divorce court. But we don't encourage couples to divorce here because we know the negative effects divorce has on our society. Rather, we prefer to bring it together and encourage a divorce. In lieu of this, I'm going to give you an opportunity. I'll give you 10 minutes to sit down together at the reconciliation room and talk things over before we proceed. Is that okay? Clark, please take them to the reconciliation room.
Mrs. Ken, okay, please.
This is Family Jury.
Children are the leaders of tomorrow. Don't kill the future of our youths. Broken homes can cause broken future. Avoid divorce. Brought to you by
Family Jury.
Sweetheart, we don't need a divorce.
We need it. We need it. So you can stand a better chance to be with your mother forever.
Baby, don't talk like that. You know I love you. You're my wife.
Kenneth, please, I am not your wife. I'm just a baby-making machine. Look, I have had enough children for you, and I want to go.
Honey, think about our children. Think about our own unborn child. They need us.
I don't care. I don't care.
Don't tell me you don't care. Because I know you do. Remember the promises we made to each other. Remember the vow. I love you so much. I love you. But the truth is, I just can't let my mother go.
Then marry your mother.
Don't talk like that. My mother loves me so much. And I love my mother in return. My mother was the only person that was there for me when I was helpless. And I cannot just abandon her now that she needed me the most.
Kenneth, do you love me?
Oh, there you go again. You know I do love you. I do love you with all my heart.
Then go and meet the judge and tell her you have accepted to divorce me. See, my dear, I can't stand the presence of your mother anymore. I can't. Do you know how many times you have beaten me because of your mother? Eh? Or how many times your mother has slapped me in your presence? In my matrimonial home. Do you even remember the last time you ate my food? Please, don't. I just want this drama to end, please.
Alright. I promise you that from this moment on, everything will change. Please, accept and forgive me. Forgive my mistakes.
Kenneth, I have always loved you. I married you when you had nothing. I stood by you till life got better. I have given you everything a wife can give to a husband. And what have you given me in return? Humiliation. I have shed much tears for you the past 7 years. And as you can see, I'm shedding more tears for you. I don't want to stand between you and your mother. So please, just let me be.
This is Family Jury.
Mr. and Mrs. Ken, I will not feel guilty to separate the two of you because I believe that love still exists between you. But I will apportion some blame to you, Mr. Ken. You see, it's not a crime to love your mother, but you have to know that your wife needs more care and attention than your mother. There's a difference between your mother and your wife. The relationship between mother-in-law and daughter-in-law is very interesting when the mother-in-law comes to visit. But it becomes something else when your mother-in-law stays permanently. Mrs. Ken, I understand your pains.
But you must agree with me that the future of your children is at stake here. And I want you to calm down and accept your husband if he's willing to make amends. Is that alright?
My Lord, I can only accept it on one condition.
Let's hear the condition.
That he rents another apartment for his mother. I can only own my husband one more time if my mother-in-law leaves that house.
Mr. Ken Agu.
Yes, my lord. I love my wife so much and I can't let her go for any reason. I will make arrangements to rent an apartment for my mother because I don't want to lose my wife.
Mr. and Mrs. Kenneth, you see, marriage is an institution for matured-minded people. Understanding and love is the rule of the game, especially when marriage is concerned. And husbands need to know when their wives are not comfortable with certain decisions and be willing to talk things over. I want both of you to see me in my office after. I rise.
This is Family Jury.
Emmanuel Frederick Production. Marriage is God's arrangement. Protect it. Do not destroy it.